Very good morning, Rideshare friends. Very good morning, YouTube subscribers. There's been a lot of news around the sad story of the passing of a passenger, Uber passenger, called Samantha in South Carolina. I can't imagine what it's like, what her family, what they're going through. I have kids, and I don't even want to think about it. It's just beyond saddening, right? But Uber and Lyft YouTubers, drivers have been reporting about safety, again and again and again over the last few weeks, begging, pleading Uber and Lyft to put the money here. They have the money, right? And safety of drivers or passengers in no particular order, passengers or drivers, drivers or passengers, is numero uno. It comes first. This should have never, ever happened to this beautiful young lady. It should have never happened to her family, right? And several weeks back, when that story with the pregnant Lyft lady broke, I can tell you, I myself and a couple of my techie people sprung to action, and I'm sending a proposal to Uber and Lyft. I want to introduce a Bluetooth sign for the window, not just a sign, not just a hello sign or your Lyft driver sign or your Uber driver. No, I want to introduce, going through the patents, everything, registered it, a sign that is linked to the Uber and Lyft account that will say, detect, just before they arrive at the destination, it will say the passenger's name, Kathy S., Jonathan R., whoever they are. So that individual in that crowd can see their name bright, like up there in the window, right? That was my idea here. A bright light shining out the person's name, right? So that he or she, even if they're intoxicated, they see their name and they go towards the car. And at that stage, there have to be various forms of identification, right? Hi, I'm Kathy, maybe showing an ID, or hi, I'm Jack, your driver, maybe showing an ID. But I think this little bit of money, that probably the device could be in and around $20, Bluetooth driven, syncs with your phone, right? And is hard coded, is programmed that the name of the passenger, of the rider, shows up in the driver's window. In this case, I made a rendering here. I said, hello, Kathy S. So let's say on that night, we can't turn back the clock. Sadly, we cannot turn back the clock. But let's say it would have said, hello, Samantha, right? Maybe that's the difference. But we got to do something here, my friends. We have to do something. And Uber girl Paula, lovely to have you in the house. I can't say this is a happy video, but I am happy to have you here. I'm happy to have all of you. Oscar, hi, buddy. Tyrone, hi. Patrick, cool idea, thank you. I'm working on it. I'm taking action, putting money into it, filed the patents. And you know what? If they decline it, they decline it. So what? A few $1,000s spent, but I'll push and push and push until they accept the idea, right? Not going to give up on this one. Maybe another rideshare company wants this technology, but that's the idea, folks. And I work with a professor of design and technology at West LA campus and USC. He's been my business partner since 2001. The guy's remarkable. He has programs. He makes shit happen. So right now, Uber and Lyft needs to make shit happen. Safety, safety, safety. Laura Adams, hi. How are you, dear? The side gig guy, howdy. Love the idea. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting the idea. Let's push it forward. And my friends here that are in this channel, this is not a sign that says hello or I've arrived, or no, it's got the name, right? And it's synced with Bluetooth, right? And I put a lot of thought into this because I've spoken to the drivers that I lease out videos. We do brainstorming sessions. I do brainstorming sessions with my techie crew of 6 people here in LA. And I want to see a change. And I thank the people that started introducing the laws in South Carolina that are actively right away jumping on this, changing laws and forcing Uber and Lyft to put signs in the window. But my friends, it doesn't just help if you have an Uber and a Lyft sign. That's great. Anybody can buy that on Amazon and cheat, right? And pretend they're an Uber or Lyft driver. Let's be realistic here. Anyone can jump on Uber. Even a non-driver can order a sign, a neon sign on Amazon. This needs to go much, much further than this, right? People could disguise themselves as Uber and Lyft drivers. No, this needs to be hard-coded by the technical team of Uber and Lyft, and there has to be a change where it says, "Hi, Kathy, I'm your driver," or "Hi, Jonathan, I have arrived," right? So it only targets that specific person because only Uber and Lyft have that identity at that location, folks, right? So I'm glad that the lawmakers are taking a step in the right direction, folks. I really am. But they need to think this through. They need to have street smarts. They need to think like an Uber and a Lyft driver, because in no particular order, driver and passenger safety, that is where the money needs to be sent, Uber and Lyft. Derek K., listen up. Spend your money on safety, safety, safety. A human's life is more important than that entire company, right? Those parents will never get their daughter or their son back, right? It is your duty, Derek K., to spend the money on safety, 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 okay? So, need to match a code for passenger. Yes, exactly. That was my suggestion, right? And I'm working on it. I mean, I don't waste time. I filed patents, I filed a name, and I'm going to pitch it. I'm going to pitch it to both those companies, right? Now, if I may read to you some of the suggestions that I've seen in the channel, some of the suggestions that I've been working on. Confirm the details when the car arrives. Don't just look at what time your driver is coming. Pay attention to the make, the model, the color of the car, as well as the driver's name and photo. You have 4 or 5 things that have to match up on both sides, ladies and gentlemen, right? Even you as a passenger, if you're listening to this, even you as a rider, if you're listening to this video, watching it, right? As intoxicated as you are, right? Go to a friend and say, hey, listen, just make sure I get in the right car, right? I'm a little bit drunk. Just make sure that I get into a blue Honda and that you check me in with a driver so that everything checks up, right? If you are drunk and you have sober friends around you, let the sober people help you make those decisions. Make sure to match the license plate number on the screen to the one you see in real life, folks. Okay. Plate as well. Yes, Anthony Dean, I just mentioned that. QR codes is another way. Homayun Hedayat, I hope I pronounced your name right. Yes, fantastic idea. I love it. QR codes, love it. I love this conversation, my friends, is all about your suggestions. I want you to list all your suggestions here. I want Uber and Lyft. I'm going to send this video over and over to the emails that I have at Uber, right? And I want them to read this here. Uber must provide an ID to the driver. Stefan Tsui, 100%, my friend. All of these are great suggestions. Keep them coming. Keep them, just put them out there, right? Put your suggestions out there. Another one, especially if you're coming into a different city. I know when I travel overseas, if I'm in Paris or Berlin, wherever, I travel a lot, right? I may not always know the city, right? So for me to just rely on a taxi driver or an Uber driver thinking, oh, well, he's going to take me to the right place. No, stop right there. Stop right there for a second. This is especially important if you're in a different city, right? And you aren't familiar with the route, right? So by monitoring your own GPS, you're following your own GPS. Is he or she, in fact, taking me to that destination? Or they're going somewhere else? Red flag, right? They're going in the opposite direction. What are they doing? right? I have the right at a red light to jump out the car. If I feel at any time my gut tells me I'm in danger, I bail out. I had to do that as a kid, right? When I was about 13, 14 years, I was hitchhiking somewhere in South Africa. I felt it was wrong. I jumped out of the car while it was rolling into a red light. Myself and my friend Michael jumped out the car. I never hitchhiked again. That was my lesson. But the guys were taking us in a wrong direction, right? Who knows how that would have ended? So by monitoring your own GPS navigation, you'll see if the driver is leading you astray, folks, right? You got to monitor his or her driving habits. Is he or she heading in the right direction? That's just another security mechanism right there, especially if you're in a foreign city, especially if you're traveling somewhere and you're not too familiar with the whereabouts. Ivop Silva, for my safety as a driver, I would like to ask Uber and Lyft to mandate riders to have a profile picture and name. Thank you, sir. Many times I have picked up passengers that don't have a profile picture. No. And you know what? You deserve that, my friend. You deserve to see that, right? Rick Reviews. I've had a right name, right place, wrong passenger twice. Joe John on New Year's Eve. So, okay, good point. Red flag right there, right? Red flag. Now, the one thing I can say is don't share private information with your driver, right? Especially if you notice they're asking a lot of targeted questions. It is not their right. I would never ask a female or a male passenger, hey, what's your phone number? What's your email? This includes your personal phone number, your email. The Uber app, guys, automatically encrypts both the driver's number and the passenger's digits to protect both sides' privacy, right? The numbers. So that's understandable. That is just there to protect your privacy. So if they're asking for those details, red flag, right? Red flag right there. You should never share any credit card information with the driver or vice versa. All Lyft and Uber fares are paid through the app, remember? So if he or she wants to hustle you for a credit card number, oh, you're going to have to pay the fare. Should be smart enough to decline them there and then and know this is a fraud. This is a gangster. Get out, right? If he says, hey, give me your credit card. I want to add a tip, right? No, red flag. The tip is facilitated through the app. Don't fall for those cheap tricks. That's hunting for information, hunting for your name, hunting for data that he or she, whether it's a passenger or a driver, should never have, right? The transaction, the deal, is between the driver and the passenger to transport them safely from A to B and get them to the destination. Period. Job done. Pay, right? And hopefully pay with a tip, passengers and riders. So share this information. Share this information with your friends. We got to honor this lady. All the people that have been hurt, died through Uber or Lyft, Rideshare. We've got to do something. The laws need to change, right? So a big one, riding in the backseat. I don't think it's a good idea. Some people are like super chatty and they like to get in the front. I would say play it on the safe side, get back far away to the right or behind. Drivers don't necessarily like it if you sit behind them. They get very, very nervous, right? So if you want to build out a comfort zone between the driver and the passenger, this is specifically for riders or passengers, go into the back opposite corner. So he's up front here, go and sit over here. So if the conversation takes place, it's that way, right? But you have an exit point. You can leave out that way. He'll never get around the car and get you. You're already gone if you have to, right? But sitting behind a driver, I know, especially like if you're a guy and there's like one big guy gets in and they're right behind you, like, shit, he's right behind me. I can't constantly checking in the mirror. What is this guy up to? If I get a wrong vibe, I don't feel comfortable as a driver. So make sure the person's behind you, right? That's why I suggest the passenger or the rider goes and sits down so that there is visual contact. And if anyone tries something at any time, the driver can get out this side or the passenger gets out that side, period. Right? Let's read some of the iSurvivor. The app should have 3 questions. The rider must answer them or check the boxes. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Uber, listen up. iSurvivor, great suggestion. Right? A little 3-point quiz before you enter that car. And we need real, actual picture of the car we are expecting to arrive. True, Tommy. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Keep those suggestions coming. Blaine, 2007, yes. Oscar Gonzalez, I had a mom order a ride for a 13-year-old child, and I was skeptical to pick up for multiple reasons. Yeah, you should. Kid cannot get in your car, right? End of story. Next one. Tell a friend where you're going and who you're with, right? Tell a friend where you're going and who you're with. Both Lyft and Uber let you quickly and easily share who your driver is, where you're going, and when you're supposed to get there, right? Have someone know your whereabouts, know which car you're getting in so that they can monitor it. That information can be shared, right? So the next one I have is, wait for your ride indoors. This prevents you from standing outside unnecessarily with a phone in your hand, signaling to passing motorists that you're waiting for someone to pick you up, okay? That sends a signal. If you're standing there as an intoxicated guy or girl on the side with your phone, you're checking, anyone that's up to something bad is going to see, oh, they're probably waiting for an Uber driver. Let me just pull up front. Let me see what they do. Will they get in my car? If they don't, they'll carry on. But that's a dangerous spot you're putting yourself in by waiting outside and exposing yourself to a possibility. Wait indoors. If you're in a club or a restaurant, wait till the last second. Okay, my car is there now. Now it's safe to leave the building. Now I can walk outside, right? Think of it. You're not setting up a scenario for a sort of a lone stranger who's circling the neighborhood or the streets to see, okay, is there a single girl or so standing out there on her own like that girl? The pictures were very, very evident that the pictures caught on the camera that this poor girl, Samantha, was out there on her own. I don't know if she was intoxicated or not, but she was on her own waiting, and then this car pulls up, right? That scenario could have been prevented right there. Okay, so important to note here, instead wait until your driver is close or has arrived before you go outside. I've gone over several points here, my friends. As you can see, I said tell a friend where you're going and who you're with. Ride in the back seat. Don't share private information with your driver. Map your own route during the ride. Confirm the details when the car arrives so that this never happens, right? This girl, this young, lovely lady should never have lost her life. And anyone tuning in right now, the reason why I really want you to share this video is that several weeks ago, I had a couple of brainstorming sessions with techie guys, and this whole concept came up. A Bluetooth sign that is linked to your phone, right? That is mapped, hard-coded by Uber and Lyft. And I'm sending the proposal to Uber and Lyft, right? Tie down the patents, that the name of the passenger, the rider, appears in the signboard, in the neon signboard in the front. Not just a generic hello, your driver. No. Hello, Kathy S. Hello, Jack R. Hello, whoever you are. Nicole F. Right? So that the person in the crowd can see it. Oh, there's my name. Or that the sober friend of the intoxicated friend and says, hey, Kathy, that's your car over there. Let's go over and check and make sure it's the right car, right? So Tommy says, no minor picking up with adult present. Correct. Yep, that is true. Uber girl, Paula, Tommy, no, accompanied minors on Uber or Lyft. However, I drive for Hop, Skip, and Drive and Zoom here in LA, and it's good money. I love it. Uber girl, as Paula, is hustling while I'm making a safety video. Guys, right? This is about safety, right? So she's brought up great points. Hop, Skip, and Drive and Zoom are great apps to drive with. If adults have kids, they should have their kids be picked up by a pre-qualified driver through Hop, Skip, and Drive and Zoom. If you guys have any questions, just go to her channel. She will have the answers for you, right? And that's a big issue, safety in kids, right? I have kids, so I'm concerned how they travel. I do most of the picking up, or have my private drivers with my TCP pick up my kids from school and drive them. If it's sports games or events, I drive my kids personally. Wherever I can, I drive my kids personally. I'm literally their taxi driver. Unless I cannot make it, I have one of my TCP drivers transport my kids. I cannot and will not have my kids transported, 11 and 15-year-old, through some Uber and Lyft app. And that's not being disrespectful to the drivers. No, it's just not allowed. It's in the terms and conditions. Why would I want to jeopardize my accounts, right? And tons of parents do this. I spoke to a parent yesterday telling me that she has 4 kids and all of them drive with Uber. I told her it's not allowed, it's illegal. But like, hey, everyone's doing it, so I should be doing it. Driver Brad, hey, Torsten, this doesn't work because doing this does not protect the driver. Currently, Uber and Lyft's protocol is that the driver says, hi, I'm Brad, your driver, what's your name? Sorry, buddy, but you're incorrect, right? This negative statement that you've made that this doesn't work, this is one mechanism that makes sure a passenger is protected. Now, then there should be tons of others, Driver Brad, other mechanisms in place where the driver needs to be protected. For example, a full background check. We've discussed this 100 times on a passenger. A background check on a passenger. Uber and Lyft have to spend that extra $30, $50, right? So if you shoot the idea down and say this is incorrect, it doesn't protect the driver. You know what? We're trying to find solutions, Brad. This is how it works. This is why we talk here. We try to find solutions for the driver and the passenger. Both humans, both equally important, right? So if anything, like, hey, this doesn't work and this won't work. Come up with suggestions, guys. Come up with ideas. Write them down here, right? We need feedback, not shoving things down. We're putting thought, stimulating thought, and calling for action on safety, safety, safety. You have the money now, Lyft. You just did an IPO. Spend the money on safety, safety, safety. Get your research teams. Do I need to send you this proposal? Seriously? I'm a driver, yeah, and I'm street smart, but do I need to send you this type of... You probably know this idea already, this Bluetooth idea that I'm suggesting, right? But you're not willing to spend the money. And because of the fact that you haven't spent the money, a person must die. A person must die, right? Unacceptable, right? Money needs to be spent on safety. So, Brad, I hate to shoot your negative comment down, but that's who I am. I love engaging in dialogue, and bring me good suggestions. Alpha Roman, I feel terrible what happened to this young lady. You're right, but what can be changed? Uber has all the verifications. A lot can be changed, Attila Roman. A lot can be changed. They just have to be willing to spend the money. They have to be willing to conduct research. They have to be willing to look at ideas such as the one that I've put forward, a Bluetooth sign, right? Anything that can prevent a driver or a passenger's life being taken is a step in the right direction, right? Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. After these last 3 or 4 incidences within a 2-month period, all the alarm bells should be going off, all the red flags. This is where we need to spend money and do research on safety. Yes, you're right, Derek K. Right there. CEO of Lyft, this is where you spend the money, on safety. This young, lovely lady's life should never have been taken, right? So Paul Figueroa, always ask the driver's name, never tell them. 100% correct, right? I went through 5 or 6 scenarios here, just little checkpoints, right, that you as a driver or a passenger can do just to bring in more safety into the process. But I am convinced so much more can be done regarding safety when it comes to technology, right? The app, the driver app, the rider app, there could be way more money spent on technology. There could be more money spent on background checks. It is not right that just the driver has to undergo a full background check. The rider should go a full background check, right? Things, if there's hardcore criminal records that show up with a passenger, why on earth are they in our car? Why are they sitting in our car, right? I had an incident where my life was almost taken. I was in a gang area. 3 guys got in with machete, with guns, with drugs into my car. Those people should have never, ever just suddenly jumped into my car, right? So Uber, on that day, Uber SUV, I was 1 hour outside of LA, should have never let these people in my car. I should have also learned, I should have checked my map that certain areas I, as a driver, should have never been in. So I take blame as well. I'll definitely take blame for effing up being in the wrong area at the right time. The way you make money is being in the right area at the wrong time. The way you screw up on on security is being in the wrong area. Okay, so there are checks and mechanisms that both sides can conduct, right? Phil O, I would like a picture of the passenger. 100% correct. You should be entitled to see all that information, right? You're not interested in their phone number. You're not interested in their email. You're not interested in their credit card information. You're interested in the very, very basics, right? The visual, the name. And my suggestion here, I think it's brilliant. It's not just this is not just my idea. It's the brainstorming of 6 very, very qualified people that came up with this. This device costs about $25. It's Bluetooth driven, right? Locked it down with the patents, and there's only one step missing, and that is Uber and Lyft agreeing that they hard code this into their technology, and that it's the sign every Uber driver, every city, Denver, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Salt Lake City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, wherever you are, Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, every driver, Uber and Lyft, needs to have a Lyft and Uber sign in their car that is hard-coded to the technology, Bluetooth, that shows the passenger's name. That is a good security mechanism in place for the passenger. Then we need checks and balances and security measures for the drivers. You guys have mentioned 100 points right here in this thread, 100 suggestions. So I suggest, Derek K., get your management. I suggest to the Lyft CEO, get your management and read what my subscribers have to say. Read, go through every single little detail, right? Anthony Dean, Leonardo, Attila, UberGo. Read what they have to say. These people are providing you the most accurate, highly, highly thought through information, right? And a driver has the right to demand that a passenger undergoes the same background check as us. And you're saving money in the wrong places, because had you spent those additional $5 to $10 million on running all these background checks, or maybe even more, 30 million, you're not telling me that a life or 2 or 3 lives in 2 months are worth 30 million bucks? F you. F you. If that is your stance and you're going to save 30, 40 million bucks and allow something like this to happen, right? So is this just the United States? No, I swallow this. This is an epidemic throughout the world. There are always evil people out there with evil intentions, and they will find loopholes. They will find weaknesses in the system, and they will exploit them. It is our duty to plug those holes. It is our duty to make the system, the safety, security system, better and better and better. No matter whether you're in Tokyo or in Berlin or in wherever you are, Cape Town, South Africa, this incident happens everywhere, right? These are evil people with evil ideas, exploiting loopholes, exploiting weaknesses in Uber and Lyft's system. This could be in Vancouver or Toronto. This could be in New York City, in the Bronx, or in Queens. Could be anywhere, right? So you have sick people out there, unfortunately, right, that will target those weaknesses. Uber and Lyft need to spend big money. Throw a $50, $100 million at this, guys. Get your tech teams to come up with ideas. This here is a great idea. You're not going to steal it from me. You can buy it from me, right? But you need to implement it. So Anthony Dean, I agree. It's only fair. Yes. Passenger, Rick reviews. Passenger told me he walked half a block for Uber Express and got mugged. Okay. Why did he walk half a block? Half a block. Did he walk towards his car? Okay. Now, that, for example, I don't know exactly what played out in that scenario Rick reviews, but the passenger should stay indoors or whatever and say, hey, I'm here. Come over here. I'm not going to walk in a dangerous area 1 or 2 streets down to you and then expose my safety and have something happen. No, it is the driver's duty to come to the passenger, right? The passenger should stay indoors in that restaurant, in that bar, and say, hey, the driver texts them, I'm here, come outside, right? So probably the fault of the passenger to walk through a dark neighborhood towards the driver, 2 streets. Anything can happen, my friends, in a dark street alley, right? No to cab. As drivers, we should cancel a ride if they only have a letter or something that looks really shady. 100% no to cab. Your security comes first. If you think something is off, you cancel. If you think something here in your solar plexus, this area here, feels strange, you're usually 99% right with your feelings, right? Your body tells you something is off. And if it feels off, you cancel, right? Why take a chance? Why take a chance? So the guy brought up a great idea. If the people are not willing to say exactly who they are, they're using abbreviations or things that really don't identify them, and you feel like, you know what, this just doesn't sound right. Well, maybe it's not right. Cancel, right? So, Same CTA might make life easier. Look, that's a very broad comment, a great comment. Life should always be made easier. I think what you're trying to say, make life safer, right? This is what the argument is about today. Not make life easier, but make life safer, right? So there are people out there renting Uber and Lyft accounts and driving with accounts that don't belong to them. Many illegals. IVOP Silver. Okay. Bring me screenshots. Let's expose that. Let's make a story on that, right? J Beats, Eamon, as a woman, I get scared when I'm talking to a guy and he mentions he has been to jail. I'm like, what the heck? Listen to this. Respect this lady's views. She is driving and the guy tells, well, I've been to jail. How does that make her feel at that moment, right? Uber and Lyft should have conducted a background check. Dara K, you should have caught this. This person should have never been in her backseat harassing her in that way and making her feel that uneasy, right? That's psychological warfare. Oh, I've been to jail, you know, and maybe targeting. I'm not saying the weaker sex. The women are exactly the equal, same, strong sex. But in physicality, that guy could have maybe overpowered her. And that's what I meant by the weaker physical sex, is that he could have jumped on her and done bad things. He's a jail guy, right? But don't get this, guys and girls, don't get my statement the wrong way. I'm just saying that individual in the backseat should have not been there, right? So Jay Beats, thank you for bringing that up. Again, Eamon, as a woman, I get scared when I'm talking to a guy and he mentions he has been to jail. I'm like, what the heck? Like, exactly, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing in my car, buddy? Right? What the heck, Dara K, is this guy doing in her car? So spend the money. Spend $30, $50, $100 million of your IPO money right now on safety, safety, safety. Okay, in no particular order. Drivers, passengers, passengers, drivers. There should be checks and balances, technology, everything implemented right now to make this experience more safer. That lady should have never had that guy in the car. Cashback Chris. So we would need 2 of your signs, one for Uber and one for Lyft. Big deal. Big deal. Are you worried about 2 signs, cashback, Chris? 2 signs in your car? If you are collecting money from Uber and Lyft, right, you always have 2 stickers in your car. So what's going to deter you from having 2 signs, and maybe a neon pink one and a black and white one? Are you afraid of your dashboard? Yes, what I'm saying is you should have 2 signs, and both companies should have their own code written, right, with this, saying this particular passenger, that's who I'm picking up right now. So bring me intelligent feedback, guys, right? That type of question, yes. So you're trying to tell me that 2 signs are too much for your car to protect that lady. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit, right? Have 2 signs in there, an Uber sign and a Lyft sign, right? And if you're driving on Uber, switch the one on, switch the other off. I've made a video about this. So that is just the lamest excuse. Maybe lazy to install a second sign. 2 signs, right? One Uber, one Lyft could have prevented this lady's life. So Terry Tips, legend. Love your channel, my friend. What a pleasure to have you. What up, big bro? Anyone who hasn't visited Terry Tips' channel, do it now. Go and subscribe there. The guy has legend videos. Love watching his videos. Love anything new by him. Upbeat, awesome guy, doing amazing things for the rideshare business. And we owe him a lot of gratitude and a lot of thank you. So I appreciate you popping in here, saying hello. I appreciate anyone in here giving positive feedback about safety. Again, Terry Tips, awesome to have you in the house. Matt Marcus signs would not have helped this girl. Okay, let's stop for a second. People with that attitude, right, would not, could not, should not. You got to change your thinking. Will definitely, right? Change your mindset, right? A sign with a Bluetooth in the window in every single car, Uber or Lyft, that is hard-coded to Uber and Lyft software, and it puts the name, will alert the person, intoxicated not. Intoxicated person, one intoxicated girl turns to the 3 girls around and says, make sure I get in the right car. Her friend then sees the car coming up that says, Kathy, yes. Kathy, I think your car arrived. Go over there. So if you are going to bring me ideas, Matt Marcus, bring me positive ones. Matt Marcus says you are lying. Okay. I'm lying. That's why I have 33,000 subscribers, my friend. Have a great day. Leonardo DiCapo, I don't think anything could have saved this girl's life. The guy didn't even have an Uber sign on his car, dude. That's precisely the point. That's precisely the point that we are talking here. It has to be mandated law that every car, every Uber and Lyft car has a sign. And all I've made is a suggestion where it gets more personal because you have a Bluetooth. But it should be a law mandated that every single car has, if they're driving at night and it's dark, it's illuminated and a passenger can see it. So, and firstly, I'm not your dude, right? I'm not a 16-year-old. Matt Marcus, laws don't ensure people get hurt. Maybe you're living in a country that doesn't have laws, Matt. So, but laws were generally written to bring in law and order, right? If you violate a law, either it becomes a criminal law, you end up in jail. If you violate a federal law, if you violate a civil law, you'll end up in court and there's justice. So your argument is fucking mute. Hemi65, I thought it was the law to have a sign for rideshare. Well, it should be. I don't think it is, but you're absolutely right. It should be. And all we're doing here is talking suggestions, right? We're coming up with suggestions, and I'm glad to see that this state is implementing this law that every car should have, and all the states should be on the same page. All international cities should be on the same page. We're talking passenger and driver, rider and driver safety here, folks. We have a couple of negatives in the house, that there's no solutions, but thank God we have 95% positive people here bringing up great suggestions, background checks and that. This is, again, just another video call to action to the CEOs of both companies that safety, technology, safety ideas need to be implemented. 95% of our subscribers are bringing in good suggestions, right? A few here I have no time for because they're not coming up with solutions. They're just being negative about the topic, right? So they accept the normal, they accept what is. They're not willing to come up with a constructive idea. Some of these guys are not in this channel, not willing, the 5% are not willing to come up with a construction suggestion that somebody might implement one day, right? So please remember to the ride shares and live stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Leonardo, yeah, but how would this stop an intoxicated person from getting in the wrong car? I have all the signs displayed. So let's talk about, good question. I'm not firing that question down. Good question. Intoxicated question. Intoxicated person. If you going out with friends, right? Friends should look after friends. You know, that's just how I grew up, right? If we see that one of our girlfriends or guy friends is totally drunk, we check out for them, right? And that means from the moment they're in a club or in a bar till the moment they get in the car, right? I'll walk a lady over to a car, right? Or to a taxi and make sure she gets in the right car. I don't want her to get behind the wheel. So it's also our duty to look out for friends. A single intoxicated person, he or she that goes out, is really asking for trouble if they don't have the checks and mechanisms in place because their brain is lagging behind, right? That's when trouble happens, right? But we are just looking at general ideas here to tighten up the laws, to tighten up the ideas on safety with technology, with basic things we can do. Let's go over some of the basics one more time. Confirm details when the car arrives. Don't just look at what time your driver's coming. Pay attention to the make, the model, and the color of the car, as well as the driver's name and photo. Should be both ways, not one way, right? Make sure to match the license plate number on your screen to the one that you see in real life. Okay, that's a given. Map your own route during the ride. This is especially important if you are in a different city and aren't familiar with the route. By monitoring your own GPS, folks, your navigation, you'll see if the driver is leading you astray. If you go to a foreign city, if you go to a city that you haven't been to before, right, you don't know the layout, the whereabouts of the city, you got to rely on your GPS or have a friend that checks, hey, are we going in the right direction? Or is this guy taking us somewhere else? Red flag, right? So these are suggestions. Don't share private information with your driver. It's none of their business. Your credit card information, your phone number, your email, it is zero, right? It is no business of theirs to know those digits, right? This includes your personal phone number, your personal email. The Uber app automatically encrypts both the driver's number and the passenger's digits to protect both sides' privacy. You should never share credit card info with the driver. All Lyft and Uber fares are paid through the app and tips are added there too. So if somebody says to me, yeah, I want to add a tip, what's your credit card info? No, don't worry about it. It's already covered. It's covered through the app because the information is stored there. Ride in the back seat, important one. Anyone riding up front is obviously a very social, chatty person, okay? But if you want to play safety here, drivers don't particularly like it if you sit right behind them. Sit in the back seat opposite sides. If you need to bail, you bail out right. If they need to bail, the driver needs to bail, they bail out left, right? You got a good security system back in there. If you're the only passenger in the car, riding in the back seat gives both the passenger and driver more personal space, right? It also ensures you're able to get out on the either side to avoid traffic. Now, tell a friend where you're going and who you're with. I talked about this earlier on. A friend should always look out for a friend, right? Or friends look out for friends. Make sure that your buddy, your girlfriend gets in the right car, right? If you notice they've had a couple of too many drinks and they can't think straight, make sure you step in and act as their security buffer. Both Lyft and Uber let you quickly and easily share who your driver is, where you're going, and when you're supposed to get there. Share that information. So if something seems off, if something seems fishy, you can take action. So wait for your ride indoors. This prevents you from standing outside unnecessarily with a phone in your hand, signaling to passing motorists that you're waiting for someone to pick you up. This is what happened to poor Samantha. She's standing out there isolated on her own. She is a target. Any person with evil intentions, with evil ideas, will circle the streets looking for an individual like this. So stay inside that restaurant, stay inside that pub, stay inside that club until the car is right up front. Look out the window. Yes, there she is. Preferably look out the window with a sign with my name in it. Yes, that's definitely the driver. Let me go and do a couple of extra little checks, and then I can verify whether it's the right person, right? So, my friends, back to a very, very sad topic if you're tuning in. I am calling upon Dara Kay. I'm calling upon the Lyft CEO to spend $50, $100 million on security. So that safety, safety, safety of both drivers and passengers in no particular order comes first. That is where the money needs to be spent, right? So who else do we have? Motivado, thank you. Beautiful, intelligent information. Thank you very much for being part of the conversation, Motivado. I like that name. Sounds like motivating. Very cool. Rob Miller, maybe if Uber took more of our money, they'd be able to implement some of these additional safety features. 150% correct. You taking our money, then spend it on us. Spend it on our safety. Spend it on the passenger's safety, right? This should have never happened. And I hope it never happens again, right? We're coming up with a lot of good. 95% of the people in this channel have come up with really good, constructive input, right? Roberto 45, all the precautions take time, and what time is always best spent for both parties' safety. Yeah. So what Roberto is saying, take the time. Don't rush. Just take the time to go through those security checks. Very nice. Rideshare 411, love your channel. Support him. Subscribe to him. Good stuff, Professor. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Makeup Queen, maybe there could be a code given to each driver for each rider. So when you get the call along with that is the 3-digit code, the passenger then asks for the code. Love it. Listen to that. Makeup Queen. Brilliant. Brilliant. Dara Kay. Read the thread. Read the suggestions. We're talking positive, good input here that will secure safety for drivers, passengers, drivers, right? In no particular order. We're all humans, right? So every life is precious. Every life should be protected. And I would say that's easily worth $50 to $100 million worth of technology and ideas that you could do. I would say spend the money on passenger rider background checks. Yesterday, not today, yesterday, right? So someone with a very negative mindset today, Matt Marcus, I've been reading this guy's thread. Riders should be a little scared. Okay, well, that's fear. And sometimes fear motivates you to do things, so I'm not going to really shoot that comment down. Do your due diligence? Absolutely, yes, right? But we're talking positive, constructive input here that hopefully Uber and Lyft reads. And guess what I do? I am taking the entire screen with all the suggestions. I'm going to print it out again. And what does the rideshare professor do? He sends it to both addresses, and not just one letter. I send it to multiple people, right? Because I know somebody reads it, right? Because they have to sign for my letters. I pay the $2.79. I don't just pay the 49 or whatever the cents postage. I pay for them to sign and open and read. Whether they read and do, that's a whole different thing, right? But they're entitled to see this information. They should see this information. They should act on your suggestions, right? So a lot of good feedback here. I'm reading some comments. Some comments are blowing me away, but okay. Uber girl Paula, TBH, I drive a lot, but never try and show fear to guys. Yeah, I mean, if you allow fear to take over, you're already on the losing end, right? If you show a dog fear, they will bite you, right? That's just my rule. Don't show fear, right? When you show fear, you show weakness, right? Should we always be a little bit fearful? Yes, we should always be street smart and listen to our gut, to our solar plexus. If something feels off, it usually is off. But we should not let our lives be governed by fear. That would mean we'll be staying in the house all the time, too afraid to go there, too afraid to go there. Never let fear take over. So, Matt Marcus, I 100% disagree with you. And so far, you've given me nothing but negative after negative after negative idea, right? I don't even know what you're doing in this channel, right? I salute the people that are coming up with constructive criticisms, but unfortunately, you'll always have the little trolls. They will always be in your subscriber channel, and I'll call them out. I will brutally call out the trolls, right? I hold up the mirror to them so that they see who they are, right? And that others get to see who they are. So if you want to be a troll and if you want to talk smack in a channel, expect the mirror to come up. So Rick Reviews, love UGP. We love her. Armando Urena Jr., you're the best. Uber YouTube channel. I love you, brother. Armando Urena, I appreciate you being part of my channel. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your texts. I appreciate your emails. Keep them coming, right? Brian Vargas, I've been doing the limousine taxi rideshare business for over 15 years. If something is going to happen, it's going to happen, period. Not trying to be negative. So I'm not going to necessarily disagree with your comment, Brian Vargas, because if you are strictly driving in the limousine taxi business, I don't think that there are checks and balances built in. This particular, and I am not disrespecting your comment at all. I would hope that the limousine and taxi business does more for their drivers. I really do, Brian. But in the rideshare business, we're talking Uber and Lyft, who have hardcore technology apps, right, for drivers and Lyft. There is so much that they can do, right? And the taxi business should, it's like an adapt or die situation. They should look at what's going on in the rideshare business where a lot of money is spent and learn from that and use those ideas and implement those ideas if they work well for their taxi drivers, right? Now, in the limousine business, I want to tell you something. I have a limousine company with 40 cars, right? Mainly luxury cars and SUVs. My drivers are very well vetted. I've conducted background checks. I've conducted interviews with them. I monitor their driving style. I've really vetted these drivers, right? Knock on wood, I haven't had any issues to date with my drivers as far as like feedback from my clients. Now, on the client side, I know who I have in the car, right? I know which CEO, I know which sports star, I know which musician, right? Are these people going to try and pull a fast one like they did with this girl? I don't think so. They're in the limelight every day. So a limousine company, my answer to you, Brian Vargas, is very controlled, both sides, drivers and passengers. And you have a lot of oversight of what's going on. I don't see that in the taxi business. I would agree with your statement 100% that a taxi business to me is it truly is the most scariest vehicle for me to get in. I've been in taxis in Europe and South Africa, and I could write a book, right? I do feel much safer now getting into an Uber and Lyft because there are many checks and balances. However, that being said, there are so many more checks and balances and so many more security, so many more safety measures that can be implemented. These state laws coming into effect will force Uber and Lyft to shine the light on safety, right, and do things, right? So for South Carolina to say every car should have a sign in it, an illuminated sign, and if need be, 2 signs, one Uber, one Lyft, that is a must, right, so that you can see. But people can cheat the system. They can go to Amazon and buy these signs. So what I'm saying is if they can cheat the system, let's think street smart for a year. How do we outsmart the cheaters, right? That's the way I think on the street. How do we outsmart the cheaters? And I would say we implement my idea with Bluetooth technology, right? The unit will cost $25 at max. That's how much I costed it out. It is hard coded. It is synced to Uber and Lyft's software. Their engineers put it in place that the light, the Bluetooth light, reads from the phone and displays the passenger's name. So if you see a car coming up and it says Kathy S., right? The technology alerts the sign, hey, you are now at your destination to pick up Kathy. Sign illuminates in the last 10, 20 seconds, right? Kathy may be intoxicated, but her friends, hopefully looking out for her, say, hey, Kathy, I think that's your car over there. Let's walk you over there. Or Kathy is fully coherent, has had no alcohol, and says, that's my car. And she walks over there, right? The chances of two Kathy S's or two John F's in the same area are very, very slim. At that point, when you're at the car, check the plate, check the color, check the make, check the driver. Most important, the picture of the driver. If everything lines up with your name, right, your likelihood is close to zero, right? Or 0.0002% that something is off. The more safety, the more checks and balances, the less people will be hurt, the less people will have to die, right? And this, all my friends, is where they need to spend money. They need to spend money on safety, security, safety, security, safety, security. I challenge you, Derek A. I challenge you, Lyft CEO. Throw $100 million, throw $50 million at this. Change your technology, change your ways. Go that extra mile and run a background check on a passenger so that this one lady early on should not have a jailbird in the back of her car who says, oh, by the way, hey, I've been in jail, right? How does that make that lady driver feel? BS. Spend the money where you need to spend it, right? So Raymond G., thank you for your guidance to all of us, Orange County. Orange County in the house. I'm going to actually be down there tomorrow. Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, Huntington Beach, Fullerton. The OC. I lived in Laguna Beach right next to the Montage for a year and a half. Had a house down there. Love the Orange County. Actually love Laguna Beach. Great place. Thank you. Rideshare 411. Knowing your city means 100% of your safety for everybody. Know your city. Thank you. Know your city. Know your neighborhoods. Know where to drive. Know where not to drive. Right? And that's not, don't want to have that sound like it's discriminating. It's just there are statistics out there. Right? If you, like I did once, where I screwed up horribly and I was in a gang area, my percentage of risk went up, and it did. It happened. I was put in an awful, awful situation. 7, 8 cop cars around me, guns drawn, because the people that I had in the car were badass. They were bad. Escaped felon. Always love your ideas and advice. Keep them coming. Don't worry about the fools on your skills gaming. There we go, my friend. Big heart going out to you. That's true. Don't let the fools, don't let the negatives, don't let the trolls deter you. I sometimes take the bait, I got to say, right? And I studied spiritual psychology, and how you react to the issue is the issue. So I should not be taking the bait by some of these, but I like to call them out because I challenge them to come up with positive ideas, not just to do the troll negative ideas. But your statement is 100% correct. Don't feed them energy. Chad Cookler. Most passengers will show me their phone screen. If you do it right, passengers will thank you for being cautious. Spot on, my friend. Spot on, right? That extra little step, they appreciate that because you care about their safety and vice versa, right? Joshua Mayer, in Texas, so many people carry. Drivers should do everything they can to create a safe environment in their car, especially the ladies carrier, create a safe environment. Yeah. There are gun laws in specific states. There are people pro-gun, people anti-guns in their car. If you are a rightful gun owner, I will respect your views. If you feel that you have to have it in your car, it's hidden away, good for you. If it makes you feel safer, you're entitled to that. Okay. So I respect your input. Phil O, I think Uber and Lyft need to implement new driver training classes. Good. I agree. If you want to see a good driver training class, go to my platform, ridesharedrivingschool.com. Ridesharedrivingschool.com. And you guys are welcome to use the code RDS30. So Uber Girl Paula says exactly skills gaming. Yeah, he's right. He's spot on. Dustin is in the house. What's going on, man? Yeah, I covered this yesterday and I just posted a new video today. And thank you, Dustin, for shedding light on this. Thank you for all the influencers on YouTube, any channel out there, sharing information, collecting information like Dustin did. Love his channel. Anyone on here who hasn't subscribed to Dustin, that is a must go to channel. Hit up his channel. Dustin is driving, subscribe, because I tell you, his videos, I love them because they bring value. They're funny. He has the ability to carry a crowd. He has the ability to entertain a crowd and get the very, very best out of people, right? And that's what us YouTubers have in common. We're out there fighting for the drivers. And I can tell you 150% that Dustin is one of those guys. So to have him here in the channel is an honor. Thank you. Import domestic, great idea, but the passenger should be verified by having a picture from their local state ID, just like the driver is identified for the passenger. Import domestic, 150% right? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what I always say. It works both ways. What's good for the driver should also be good for the passenger. So if they expect a full background check on them, we're entitled to expect a full background check back on them. Today, I am launching my idea. I tied it down legal-wise, patent-wise. I do have a manufacturer over in Hong Kong to build me the units, and I'm going to pitch it to Uber and Lyft to send them a demonstrated version from an app, how this could work, right? I will code it on my phone, and I'll create a driver-passenger scenario with this device where it's Bluetooth and the name shows up, right? And Uber and Lyft, if you want to run with it, please run with it. Spend the money on it, right? I would be more than welcome to relinquish any ideas if it saves a life, right? Not after the money here. I'm after ideas, guys. I'm after ideas that implement safety, that implement security. And so far, I have seen brilliant feedback from my subscribers, so I thank you. And Uber, Dara K, again, we challenge you to spend $50 to $100 million on security. We challenge you, as well as the Lyft CEO, we challenge you, your companies, Uber and Lyft, you've got the money, don't pretend you don't have it, you have it, spend it on security, okay? Not trying to make our little gadgets fancier, right? Our gadgets work as they are. We know what technology a rider, a driver, a passenger needs, drop-off point, navigation, it's all there. You don't have to spend millions of dollars making the app cutesy and adding more color and cute little icons. No, we want effing security. We want effing safety, right? Spend the bucks, the dollars, the dineros there on safety. Okay, so Rick Review says, Dustin, drivers are seen as replaceable by Uber, or is a new crowd available willing to drive for less? Rick Review's true, but it's up to us to stand up. It's up to us, like, for example, with the standing up in LA at the strike, getting all the media in there and bringing it to their attention that they improve and better the lives of drivers and passengers, right? We shouldn't be just seen as a replaceable commodity, right? And I think we have the most power here. If we leverage our power, if we truly stick together, right, and not defect, we have insane power, right? Make Uber and Lyft give out your signs to everyone. Exactly, right? And what I was saying, Dustin, is that anyone with bad intentions, with evil intentions, who wants to do evil things, that's in their mind, in their sick mindset, right? They'll be scouring the streets looking for soft targets, right? So, it's a fact. These signs are open out there. There's these regular signs. Anybody and everyone can buy them. So to plug the loopholes, to plug the weaknesses in Uber and Lyft. We have to rely, I think, Dustin, and I'm particularly talking to Dustin right now because having a little one-on-one great feedback dialogue here, is that take it a step further, take the step further. We can't hard code a name and bring in that technology if we go out and buy on Amazon a sign for $15. We make the first right step to say, hey, we're an Uber and Lyft driver, look out for us, here we are at night, right? It's up to Uber and Lyft to take it 5 steps further, right? To code a software into the system that the phone, right? The phone talks to the light, right? You're there, display the name. You're there at the destination, display the name, right? So that's my suggestion here, folks, is that you put the pressure on Uber, right? That it's coded into the system, right? That it alerts the sign, hey, Jonathan F., I'm here, I'm outside. He or she sees the name. If he or she is intoxicated, have friends take care of friends, guys. Friends should always look out for friends. That's why it's called Friends, right? We travel as a pack. We travel as a wolf pack. If you've ever seen The Hangover 1, have anybody seen that movie Hangover 1? How the wolf pack stuck together? There's that fancy black light again. Come back. Sorry, my bad. Timed out there for a second. But, you know, we need to take care of our friends. So, guys, if you see that one of your lady friends or your male friends is so drunk, has had too much, rally around them. Make sure they're okay. Make sure they stay healthy. They don't get hurt. Most importantly, make sure they get home okay, right? Offer them a ride. Dustin's rolling out today's video up on your screen behind you. I didn't understand the word. You have to give me some more information. Trevina Williams, using real name. Correct. Yeah, I've been, as far as the video, I wanted to do the video the day it happened, right? But I also wanted to, this is weeks back after that pregnant lady got killed. I met with a couple of people for a brainstorming sessions. I do a brainstorming session every like 2 weeks with my guys, right? And this little idea was born. I've seen similar things, right? I just think that sometimes the most simplest things have the best results. So as long as all the YouTubers, doesn't matter if one YouTuber covered it first or the other one, as long as people keep on shedding light and push the story, right? The safety and security story. Dustin says technology can suck a lot, can't even type. Yeah, especially when it comes to auto text. The shit that we sometimes send to people in auto text, horrible. I'm sure you can relate, guys. So, so Matt Marcus says, now that's the first good idea. Let me tell you something. Here's my troll again, Mr. Matt Marcus. He says somebody actually came up with the first good idea. I can tell you something. There have been 100 good ideas already mentioned here. So wake up and smell the coffee. Clone Wars. Hi, how are you? James Campbell in the house. So do we have to cut our hands open and swear a blood pact? No, I think that's a little bit extreme, James, but we can do more, right? We can share information, we can bring it to their attention, we can write to them personally, we can demand, right? If you want to make change, show up and make change, right? Don't hide, don't sit back, don't be negative, come up with good ideas. So let's see. Everyone like the stream. Thank you. Everyone go and subscribe to him, right? We're helping each other here, right? So if you look at a guy like Dustin with his with the world famous Smakovich, that's his brand, baby. He owns that one. He branded himself like a master champion with the Smakovich. He does a lot of live feeds. I'm telling anyone in this channel, look at his channel, look at my channel, look at Uber Guluk, Paula's channel, look at the people that have a few thousand subscribers or more. I'd say 5,000 subscribers or more. I take those people serious, right? You can do it as well, right? Be unique, come up with good ideas, talk about real things like Dustin does, like Uber Girl Paula does. She's very knowledgeable about the kids sector, hop, skip, and drive. Create a niche for yourself and create your own YouTube channel, because I'm telling you what, the more momentum you get, the more pressure we put on the big corporates. What's Lyft and Uber's address to send them letters in support of you, Professor? Well, Ray, I appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Underneath the stream, once I get off, okay? And what I do is I send it registered mail, because I feel like if you're just putting a stamp on an envelope, I don't think it even gets read. But the fact if you get it registered, somebody has to sign for it. You know, the one thing I can tell you, I can give you guys a great tip, right? If you go to LinkedIn, everybody know LinkedIn, right? And you type in Uber attorneys or Lyft attorneys or Uber counsel or Lyft counsel, those keywords, that combination, a lot of names show up, over 25 names, right? Could be paralegals, legal advisors, outside counsel. These are all the legal eagles. You write down their names, right? And then it'll also say where they are. It usually says they're San Francisco or whatever, Palo Alto, wherever they are, right? You get the address, you address that particular person. You address the next legal eagle with the same issue. You address the next legal eagle with the same issue. It's all there, my friends. Go to LinkedIn, type in Uber attorneys or Lyft counsel, Uber counsel, and you will see where they are. Some of them in New York, some of them in Chicago. Most of them happen to be at the headquarters in North California. And you address these individuals by name. Registered post comes to them. They're like, oh my God, what is this? They have to open it. It's a legal issue, right? The company is forced to open it. So when I push for change, if I push for ideas, I always address the legal eagles. Costs me $30 here, $50 there, right? But if I want to really push an issue, if I'm pissed off about an issue, if I'm passionate about an issue, I spend the $50 and I send the mail off to those individuals. And I've had responses, which is great. So, James Campbell, are not all of my comments showing because that comment was referring to the hangover reference? Maybe I misread that one, but your comments, I assure you, are showing up. Yes, I did talk about the hangover video, and I think I referenced hangover as far as like the wolf pack. We've got to take care of each other. Remember in Hangover 1, they took the guy out on a bachelor party. The one dude got roofied. He ended up on the roof. I would say it was the Caesar's Palace. Anybody been there? On his mattress. He passed out there, and his buddies were in town doing crazy shit, and they end up all looking for their buddy. But they stuck together, right? And they found him, and they rallied home back to the wedding, right? Now, here's the thing. They shouldn't have lost him in the first place, but because they were so all out of their minds, every single one of them was intoxicated and on drugs, they lost him in the process. But they found him afterwards. The bottom line is friends should be taking care of friends, right? I know it's a funny reference, and I know it's a silly reference using Hangover 1 as a guide here, but go and watch it. It's got like a little message in it, and it's very, very funny, especially Galifianakis, the guy with the big glasses, the crazy dude, right? He has some funny lines in that movie. Turkey in the house, Kubra Badash. I hope I'm saying that right. Hi, you in Turkey. Where are you? In Istanbul, Izmir? Where are you? I've been there. Beautiful country. And I love the Turkish coast, Antalya, when sailing there. Beautiful. Thumbs up to the stream, guys. No need to hate when people are trying to go over our safety. Thank you, Dustin. I'm going to walk you for one last time through some really important points. I'm going to read you to them. Confirm details when the car arrives. Just look at what time your driver is coming. Pay attention to the make, the model, and the color of the car, as well as the driver's name and photo. I say Uber and Lyft take it a step further and also bring in the details of the passenger, conduct a very, very strong background check on the passenger, that us drivers also have more information about the passenger, right? Not just a one-way stream. The passengers know more about the car or the driver arriving. Make sure to match the license plate number on your screen to the one you see in real life. So those are 4 or 5 very, very quick checks, hopefully coupled with my Bluetooth idea soon, right? Then a big one, map your own route during the ride. This is especially important if you're in a different city and aren't familiar with the route. By monitoring your own GPS navigation, you'll see if the driver is leading you astray. Folks, how many of you have been in a city for a first time overseas or in the United States? You have no idea about the layout of the city, and you're putting in too much trust to the driver, right? Now, the cool thing is with your Rider app, and I've taken many, many Uber and Lyft trips, I get to see where he should be going or she should be going, right? So they should be heading northeast up here somewhere, and they're heading 20 minutes that way, red flag, red flag, red flag. I call them on it, and if it gets hot and heated, I bail. It happened to me as a 13-year-old. I got out the car when it was still rolling because the idiot had bad intentions. My buddy and I should not have been hitchhiking in South Africa at the age of 13. Bad on us, right? Big lesson learned at a young age. Don't share private information with your driver. This includes your personal phone number, your email. The Uber app automatically encrypts both the driver's number and the passenger's digits to protect both sides' privacy. Makes sense, right? Makes absolutely no sense that a driver or a passenger ask those details from each other. None of their business. So digits never get handed out. You should never share credit card info with a driver. All Lyft and Uber fares are paid through the app, and tips can be added there too. So if the one guy says, hey, I need your credit card because I want to add a tip, red flag, bullshit, it's already a part of the app, right? Don't fall for that, even if you're drunk, right? So one more here. Big one, as far as keeping distance both ways, and this goes for the driver and the passenger's safety. To me, it's better if the passenger is in the back seat in the far corner. I can see them, she can see them, and vice versa. How many of you drivers feel a little bit unease when an intoxicated guy gets in and they sit right behind you, right? Got to look up in the mirror there, like what's going on? We don't feel relaxed when they're right behind you. But if I see the guys back on that side, it's better. I see them, they can talk this way. And guess what? If I need to get out, I get out that way. If he or she needs to get out, they get out that way. So if you're the only passenger in the car, note, riding in the backseat gives both the passenger and driver more personal space. It also ensures you're able to get out on either side to avoid traffic. I think that's a huge one. And we're talking constructive, positive input as far as safety and security goes for both, for Uber and Lyft drivers. Now, tell a friend where you're going and who you're with. This is back to the policy of friends take care of friends. Both Lyft and Uber let you quickly and easily share who your driver is, where you're going, and when you're supposed to get there, right? So sharing info is a big one. And then finally, wait for your ride indoors. This poor girl, Samantha, who lost her life, she was out there. She was a sitting duck on her own, standing, and someone with bad intentions was circling the neighborhood and took advantage of that situation, right? So, moral of the story, stay in that club, stay in that pub, stay in that restaurant, stay in that room, stay in that hotel lobby, stay in that nightclub, and wait till they're literally out there. Hopefully, with my sign shining up with the name on it because it's Bluetooth, right? This prevents you from standing outside unnecessarily with a phone in your hand. Remember, oh, look, there's somebody with a phone in there. They're probably waiting for an Uber. Let me just see if they get into my car. That's a person with a bad intention, right? Signaling to passing motorists that you're waiting for someone to pick up, right? It's sending a very clear message to the wrong person with bad intentions, right? So instead, like I said, wait till your driver is close or outdoors and then go out. You have the ability sometimes to look through a window in a lobby or a restaurant, right? You know, well, my car should be out there right now. Let me just see. Oh, it's a white Mercedes 300 or it's a 323. Cool. Yeah, that's it. So now I go outside and now I start asking the important questions. Photo lineup? Yes. What's your name? And the guy says, my name is Jack, your driver. Cool. Lines up with my phone, right? Walk around, look at the number plate. Yep, digits all match up. Okay, now, because the app was monitoring that driver, they came up front, the license plate adds up, the name added up. We have all these check mechanisms, got to work both ways, right? So a big one, Rob Miller, what I hate the most is the drivers that pick up more than they are supposed to. When I tell them they can't pick up more than 6, they get pissed and say the last guy did. Yeah, that's the issue with too many people to try to cram in the car, right? Your call on that one, if whether you want to take them, let them in, or whether you say, hey, you know what? I can't take more than 4, order an XL, right? Terry Tips, I think I'm the only driver that don't mind passengers sitting in the front seat. It's cool because you're very secure in your own skin. You're very confident, and that's fine. That's cool. It works for Terry Tips. I don't mind it either. I'm a big guy. I'll knock him out cold. That I can tell you that. So I'm talking in general here, and especially more for the safety of female drivers, where some guys think they can out physical the female. You know, it's a tough one. It's definitely a tougher job for girls in this business, right? If you're a big 6 foot, 2 foot guy who has some background skills in self-defense or whatever, okay. Would you let the person out in the front? Sure. You're not literally too afraid. But Terry Tips, I hear you. That one-on-one dialogue, I think I'm going to get a better tip from the person right next to me versus in the back. Okay, that's sort of my approach. But we're looking out for the general safety of people here. Mohammed Benamar, moving to Orlando from Boston and working Uber and Lyft is worthy. Cool. Great feedback. Terry Tipsy says, I can see them and read them better eye to eye. Very good point. Let's see. Los Angeles, Unstoppable Bubba, haven't been 2 watts at 2 a.m. Oh, haven't been to Watts at 2 a.m. Okay. I was there once. Very interesting trip that night. 11 p.m. I remember it being. Chad Cook, the best thing us drivers can do is learn and read passengers when we arrive at pickup. I've gotten very good at figuring out a problem passenger before I even unlock my doors. Good point. People skills, people smarts, reading people comes in very, very handy in this business, right? Just people smarts, knowing people, not being too naive, right? Los Angeles, Unstoppable Bubba, no car, seat, no ride, big ticket. Got a warning from Chips. Sorry that you got a warning, or at least you didn't get a ticket. Ubergo Paula, Chad, yes, psychology is important to us. Read your packs, your passengers. Yes, you're right. So I've gone over my suggestions several times. People have come into the room, people have left, new people have come. The bottom line is this here should have never happened to this young lady. We're talking security and safety. I will be working and further working on this Bluetooth device. I'll be pitching it to Uber and Lyft. And again, I appreciate every one of you in this room for participating today. Can I please have a thumbs up or a 2 thumbs up from my friends, from my subscribers, from you wonderful people? Let's keep the energy going. Let's put it out there. Let's push for safety. Let's push for security. Anyone and everyone, 2 thumbs up from the Rideshare Professor. I wish you nothing but an amazing day. Thank you, Tommy, for the thumbs up. Let's keep them coming. Let's keep the good energy coming. Thank you, Uber Girl, for the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. And again, I challenge anyone to start their own channel, put out their own content, Same, CTA, 2 thumbs up. Love you guys. Uber Girl Paula, thank you. Phil O, 2 thumbs up back to you, my friend. Let's keep it going. And again, I so appreciate all your great feedback. Even from the couple of trolls that mixed it up today, we had a nice, good dialogue. It's always good to engage back and forth. We got to respect each other. We got to work together. We got to come up with solutions. And Uber, Dara, Lyft CEO, please spend the money on safety. Please spend the money on security. Wishing you a great day. Be well. Drive safe, my friends.